Hello everyone. For those of you who aren't in my chemistry class, my name is Axel, and I started to think this year that a lot of people find science classes to be boring or not interesting or not what they like to do, and so I decided, because I love science, to try to help other people find it interesting. And so what I did was I tried to think of demonstrations to do in my AP chemistry class during my senior year of high school, and I thought of the idea of uploading these videos to YouTube, and this is the first one. And I am hoping that my videos can help people to find better interest in science, and with that, let me introduce my first video. Now, in this video, I am going to be demonstrating the reaction between aluminum and iodine. Thirdly, I'd like to apologize for that joke in the thumbnail, but it was a joke that had to be made. Anyways, the first thing we had to do was gather our materials for this demonstration, and so I gathered some aluminum powder, which the aluminum as a powder is the only way I could get it to noticeably react with the iodine, and I had to get some iodine as well. We ended up taking those into the classroom and setting them up in the fume hood. Another student filmed this next section.
Here we are, working in the lab, following Big Axe Man.
Alright, so we're going to be doing the reaction between aluminum and iodine in this fume hood here.
Do you guys hear that? Fume hood.
It's because iodine will, iodine vapor is toxic and we don't want to inhale it. So I'm going to turn on the fume hood. It's going to be a bit loud. And I have here some aluminum powder, and I'm going to put some aluminum powder on this dish here. And I'll have
Slow down.
And I'll have to be quick about this because the aluminum powder will react with oxygen in the air, and it will actually oxidize and form aluminum oxide before it can react with the iodine, which I have here in this small vial. And so
this is Axel back in the lab. He's pretty much in his main element. Here we go. Axel, any words?
I'm going to get some iodine on top of here. On top of the aluminum, that is, and Mr. Ritchie's saying that's enough. Mr. Ritchie, will you hand me the water? Yeah. Put the iodine back in its bag, and alright, so this reaction can be activated by adding a bit of water to it, and so I have a little eyedropper here that I'm going to put some water on top of this iodine here, and it will dissolve some of the iodine, and it will kickstart the reaction. And just for those of you who may be confused, the iodine is the black solid and the aluminum powder is the gray powder that is on the dish. It might take a few minutes, just so everyone knows.
Include me. I'm definitely a scientist.
This is Pablo. He's our helper.
I'm the chief scientist.
Yes. Nobel Prize.
And we have a hot plate going to give a little bit more energy to everything underneath it. Here's a bit more water that
So Axel, what's supposed to be happening?
Here we go. I think it's starting to go now. I need the... There we go. It's starting to...
Bubble.
The iodine is starting to... Oh, you can see there's some purple vapor coming off of that.
Oh.
And now the iodine has started to react, and it's a very exothermic reaction, and the iodine is oxidizing
Really bright.
aluminum. It is taking...
Whoa.
This might just be the coolest thing ever.
And you can see that purple is iodine vapor. It
It's a color I've never seen before, and I didn't think that was possible.
and now it is it's very exothermic, so it will catch fire like you can see here. So, it took a while to get started, but we eventually ended up making it work and made something that the class thought was really cool. Plus, the iodine vapor looked really cool in slow motion. Try this again. And so after school one day I met up with Mr. Ritchie and we did it again. I thought it would be cool to capture some of the iodine vapor in a flask because I just thought that would look really cool in a contained space. So we had to cork the flask to trap some of the iodine vapor in there, and I also thought it would make a good thumbnail picture. But when doing this, we ran into an example of why you always want to have proper safety precautions.
Started.
Okay. This reaction took much longer to activate, so I will speed through that section so I don't bore any of you watching this.
I wouldn't smother it with extra because it looks like it's purpleizing.
Starting, I think. Yeah, it's starting. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh, for sure.
Oh
yeah. All right, go ahead, and
can you hold this camera?
I can definitely hold that. Turn off the heat. And don't do anything because I don't want any of that out.
Some of it's escaping.
Well, that's why I have the fume hood.
What? So
And stay away from it because if it's oh geez. Get away. Axel, just stand back. Well, this might make a good thumbnail too.
And you might be thinking, so what? So the cork blew off. What's the big deal? Well, the truth is, you really don't want to be inhaling iodine vapor. It can cause a lot of problems if you inhale it, and had we been doing this outside of a fume hood, the iodine vapor probably would have gotten into our lungs. Also, if the cork had been placed in there tighter, then it could have been the glass that had broken rather than the cork being blown out, which would have caused glass shrapnel to fly everywhere, which would also not have been good. So you just always want to have proper safety precautions when doing a chemical demonstration like this.
Didn't know that the pigment would be so dark. If you haven't turned the hot pad off, just unplug it.
Wow, that was really cool, honestly.
That might be cooler.
I mean, it was dangerous, but it was cool. There's like iodine bubbling up from...
All right. Yeah, that was pretty quick. Just less purple, more black.
Yeah.
I think it seems to be over now.
Cool.
So now that that's over, let's take a look at what concepts this can demonstrate. So, first of all, it can demonstrate examples of an exothermic reaction because the reaction between aluminum and iodine is exothermic, and that purple vapor is actually not one of the products of the reaction. That purple vapor is iodine that is turned from a solid into a gas by the heat from the reacting aluminum and iodine that is on the dish. The second thing this can be used to demonstrate is redox reactions, because the aluminum is losing electrons to the iodine, and it is forming the compound Ali3, which is aluminum iodide, and it is a white crystal that we saw when we cleaned off the evaporation dish. So this is what our product looks like. It is Ali3. Yeah, basically something white and it's pretty flaky. So this is the end of the video. Again, if you do this demonstration, make sure you have the proper equipment, a fume hood to do it in, and I hope you will please consider subscribing, and there will definitely be more of these demonstration videos coming up in the future. Thank you all for watching.